Ramzan is the holiest month of the Islamic calendar, in which Muslims fast for their Lord Allah. The whole concept of Ramzan is based on the motive of self-restraint. The world is full of luxuries and human desires, and in this month, Muslims are expected to restrain themselves of all worldly desires for their Lord. There is an entire list of the things that Muslims must refrain from during a fast, such as lying, abusing, eating, listening to music, etc. Again, to show self-restraint for Allah. But what I don't like about how Ramzan is celebrated now is because of the itty-gritty that people get into. First and foremost, this includes the question of, are you fasting today? Someone else fasting or not is none of your damn business. As I said in the previous video, religion is a personal matter between you and your God. The second thing that pisses me off about how people celebrate Ramzan is the self-pity induced in everyone during this month. For example, an employee at work will show you his puppy dog eyes full of misery, stating, "I'm fasting," as if he's doing some sort of a favor upon you. Fasting is used to getting home early from work. Again, selfish reasons. And then there's the itty-gritty part that I've already mentioned. When people call on religious Ramzan shows and ask religious scholars the following questions. Is my fast valid if I drank water during Azan at Sehri? Is my fast valid if I accidentally ate a candy? Is my fast valid if I blah blah blah? When you fast for yourself. You fast for your soul, you fast for your Lord. Not for others, not for being praised, and not for being given a sympathy card at work, home, or anywhere. Ramzan is a beautiful month, only if people realize the true motive behind it. Have a blessed month. Hijrahs or eunuchs are physiologically males, but they have gender identities of women, and therefore they choose to adopt to feminine gender roles. In sociology, we were taught that sex is what you are physiologically at birth. However, gender determines whether or not you're a male or female by your identity. Eunuchs often describe themselves as women trapped in the body of a man. Even if others critique Hijrahs for adopting to a lifestyle that is not expected of their gender, it is not up to a eunuch, because they can't help it. They are who they are, and they cannot change what they are. For instance, a man who has an identity of a woman cannot lead a typically male life. The sad truth is, Hijrahs are treated like the jokes of society. They're usually kicked out of their household and forced to work as sex slaves for survival. Many Hijrah activists and NGOs, for example Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi in India, have worked to identify the third gender legally. The word Hijrah is used in the subcontinent as a derogatory term to describe a man who does not have man-like traits. Our society has become so ignorant that they fail to realize that eunuchs are after all human beings. Human beings with feelings, emotions, and integrity. And because society treats them like shit, they start feeling like shit themselves too. I can only say one thing. Start treating other people the way you would expect to be treated. No one knows what they've been through. And there's so much sadness already in this world. So please, stop disrespecting them. And start making them feel a little proud of what they are. You might just spark a little bit of happiness in their lives of immense depression. All I can end this topic on is a picture that was posted on a Facebook page by a citizen of Karachi. His name is Saad Hamid Khan, and he has posted the following photo with the following caption. There are some things that you're born into, and then there are some things that you acquire as you grow up. For instance, I was born into a specific household, into a specific surname, into a specific country over which I had no choice. The problem with this is, why has religion become a natural choice for all households? Let's say if you were born into a Hindu household, you'd be a Hindu. If you were born into a Christian household, you'd be a Christian. Well, at least that's what your family will expect from you. But shouldn't something as personal as religion be your own choice? Okay, I don't know if you've heard the story, but there was once a baby elephant which was tied with a rope. And it tried to struggle and pull the rope, but it was unable to do so because the rope was so tight. But as the elephant grew up, and even though now he could pull the rope away, he would not make an attempt to do so because he knew that in the past he's tried that, he's failed. So he did not bother pulling the rope. The same way, I believe a person should only practice a religion of which he or she is thoroughly convinced. Not just because he was born into that household, but because he is convinced into the beliefs of that religion. In short, I believe a believer is one who practices a religion he is willing to practice, not just one that he's born and forced to practice. A believer should be a believer by choice, not just because of birth. And if a person believes there is no God, then let him or her believe that. Because just like you have a right to believe in a God, someone else has a right to believe that there isn't. Either way, it's a personal choice. All countries should realize that every religion preaches the message of humanity, and that's what every human should practice. So let's be humans first and believers second. I think I might have just solved the problems of the entire world. I have called this episode Mindfuck Love because I am a person who philosophizes the shit out of life. Life started out with a straight couple, Adam and Eve, and they had to consummate because they were the only ones in this damn world. Technically speaking, all of Adam and Eve's children had to commit incest to further the population of this earth. The children of Adam and Eve had no other relatives because they were all a big family. And then came the long-running culture of religion and society. And something known as norms came about. Norms are acts of society which deem you as either normal or abnormal. Abnormal is just a fancy schmancy word to describe people who are outcasts or different. Then recently, a revolution came about and people started doing what they loved. This obviously gave a rise to same-sex marriages, as people could now marry who they like, regardless of gender, as gays and lesbians no longer needed to pretend to be straight, as now they could live in a way that they wanted to. So technically speaking, everything considered sickening back in the day is now regarded to be normal. And people often quote scriptures from religion and simple boring ass quotations such as, "The last time we checked it with Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve." True love is something that you need to be proud of. I respect it. Love has many barriers. Some are man-made and some are natural. Man-made barriers include caste, religion, creed, and social status. Whereas natural barriers include gender, age, and the fact that someone's your relative or not. Even though many people claim that barriers do not exist, they are quite prevalent. I mean, how often do you see a rich woman falling in love with a poor man? Note, Titanic, the incident was real, Jack and Rose never existed. And then there are natural barriers, of which gender is no longer a barrier, at least to Western societies. The mindfuck is, who knows what might be regarded as normal in the future, and what might be regarded as abnormal today might be normal tomorrow. Hypothetically speaking, a person who marries another person who is 100 years older than him, well, that's crazy. Or a person who marries his grandmother. Oh, and by the way, this did recently happen. In Indiana, a 72-year-old grandmother is having an incestuous affair with her grandson, and they might be having a baby. But then again, why is this sickening to hear? Honestly, I think labels, definitions, stereotypes and laws are all subject to change with time, and it's all up to you what you think is normal. But then again, what is normal? What is normal? What is normal? What is normal? That's something I do not understand.